love is pro, so we grow. Using procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today, Crystal, we got 3 days to go in Black History Month.
3 more days, and it's been an active 21 days. I heard recently why um um it was in February,
Why
but
we only got 28 days?
yeah, oh yeah, right, exactly, and it was primarily because it was when Carl Whitson created the business zone, Black History Month. It was also the month of the birthday month of the presidents, right? Washington and Lincoln. And especially Lincoln, since they figured it was he did the emancipation, which we now have found out that it really wasn't for us; it was for his own political gain. But at the time, we were kind of bamboozled.
So we were a casualty in those efforts, right?
We had casualties in those efforts.
And
So
I tell you.
that is how it got to be the short 21 days. We should have gone with March, because then it would have been 231 days. But that's okay. I'll take it however we can get it. Right? We'll take it.
We could have gotten an extra 3 days, all right?
We would have gotten an extra 3 days, but it's been a good month. It's everyone has been having these great presentations, and I've been yesterday. Vermont Sloss, and they did their Black History, Vermont Sloss and Economic Development Corporation.
Yeah.
They did their Black History event, and it was honoring who did honor? It honored Sharon Coleman from the Coleman Construction Group, and Robert Lewis, who is from BCIF, the Black Economic Investment Corp and Cooperative Investment Group, and then as well as Senator Sidney Kamlager. So that was the Black History part, and then I thought which was a really good idea. They did a business pitch.
Yeah.
And it was three startup businesses and 3 small businesses, and they were great business ideas. They 3 of them were already operational with traction and making money, and then the others were some really good ideas. So it was good to see some ideas that bigger and broader and more innovative than what we have been seeing. Because as we will talk about today on our final Black History conversation, is that we have to really look at starting businesses that can generate, that are high return, high yields on the businesses, so that now we can no longer just be solopreneurs, right? We need to have we need to have employees. We need to be able to employ our communities. So that was good. And then I did one this morning with SBDCI, and theirs also was talking about inclusion and diversity when it comes to funding with lenders. And they also did a pitch competition for 5 Black businesses, which were really powerful.
So the SBDCI, is it an innovative an organization for innovation, or what's the I for? SBDC
Investment, I think.
Development
Is
Center.
it? Let's see what it stands for. I have a friend that actually works with them, but he just brought a diversity program with them. SBDCI. What does that stand for? Let's see. Small Oh, let's see. SBCD. Oh, SBDCI. What does that stand for? I don't know what the I stands for.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll figure it out because
Yeah,
it sounds like a new program or a program that small businesses really need to know about because it's an extension, I guess, of the
yeah,
SBC.
it is. In fact, I'm going to have him on the show probably in April.
Yeah.
His name, the young man, he's been working within the SBC um, environment for a while, and so he actually went to them with this proposal, and it was really about inclusion because he said from the since he's been working there, black. You've talked about this as well. Have a hard time getting loans out of the SBC,
Yeah.
the FBA.
Yeah.
So he wanted to make sure that we're addressing these issues and these conversations, and what makes it what there should be no difference, right? Other than the fact we all know that our businesses have to be better prepared, but I think we are addressing that, and we since COVID, every organization out right now, that is their primary focus, is making sure our businesses are bank loan ready and contract ready. So we're all working in that space right
Right. 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 Yeah.
now.
It'd be nice to check that out and get that kind of information and access to that kind of leverage.
Yeah, so I'm gonna speak with him, and I'm gonna have him come. He's already agreed to come on the show. We just gotta work out a date for him to do that.
Sounds
So we
good.
can find out a little more about it. And he's
So,
out of the Bay Area.
oh, okay.
Hmm.
So today, folks, we're gonna have a wonderful show, and we're going to hear from my co-host, Miss Crystal Mitchell. She's going to tell you a lot about the Black History experience and how she's involved and what role she plays in helping small businesses to come to the forefront with their skills, expertise, talents, ideas, and business. So it's going to be great at about the let's see, the 12 to 15 minute marker. We're gonna have none other than Miss Crystal Mitchell telling us all in the form of an interview where I'm yours truly going to interview her, and we'll find out who Miss Crystal Mitchell is and what she's been doing, and how was she molded? How was she developed into becoming this guru that she is in the community? So we're gonna have fun today, folks.
Yeah, but we're gonna focus in, my nonprofit endeavors, and that
Cycling
is
black dollars.
recycling black dollars. So I'm gonna kind of keep it focused over there,
Yeah,
mainly because it stays in line. It's in line with Black History Month, and you and I just had this conversation this morning on how in the last year and a half we've been really focused on helping businesses
yeah,
really elevate their game, right? Move it up to the A level
yeah,
game as opposed to where they've been hovering down there at the B level.
yeah,
and
yeah.
and and they're a lot more receptive than they were
Mm,
3 or 4 years ago, right? Because
yes.
it's not that we haven't had this conversation before, but it almost felt like we were beating a dead horse, right?
Yes, that's
But
true.
now we've led them to the water, and it seems like they're ready to take
Yeah, they're
some
ready
drinks,
to take some sips, some drinks out
some
of
drinks,
that
a little
water. So,
sips here and there. So that's a good thing. But we do have a long way to go, and I think we're at that point right now. It's a now or never kind of thing happening
yeah,
right now. We no longer, we didn't have the luxury before, but we really truly don't have the luxury. But today, in today's time, we have more resources available to us. We
yes,
have more spending power available to us, and
Mm-hmm.
we definitely have the education that we've all acquired,
Yeah.
and we have the internet, right? So
Yeah.
things are no longer, they can try to keep things from us, but
Right.
however, long as the internet is active and moving forward for everyone else, it moves forward for us as well.
Right.
And so that means that we should not feel like resources are not at our fingertips, because they are. Now we just got to kick down the door and take them.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Because no one is going to give it to us, so we got to take that.
We got to take that. We
we,
have to take that.
we gotta kick down the door, step in there, and just give me this. This is
Right. Everybody else is doing it. Why should we be any different, right? We
right.
just have to become more aggressive. Um, I don't know if do you have Netflix?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so there's two shows that are on Netflix. They're binge worthy,
Uh-huh.
and one is called "Inventing Anna Delby,"
Ah.
and this is about a young lady, 26 years old, that created this persona that she was a German heiress with a trust fund of $60 million.
Oh wow.
She came to America and parlayed that into, you can't even believe what this girl did. She was a con artist. She was very similar to the former president. This girl, 26 years old, had the top hedge fund managers in New York City
yes.
believing that she was this heiress and that she wanted to create this foundation, and this foundation was um, going to be like these salons that you could come in and hobnob with the rich and famous, and displaying art and music and just having soliloquies with people, um, the movers and shakers of New York or around the world, right?
Yeah.
And she selected the most the highest cost, the highest the building that was the most valuable building in New York City,
Uh-huh.
and decided that's the building she wanted it in. And so she went to these hedge fund guys and requested a loan for $25 million.
Wow.
And you just have to watch it because it was just brilliant. And one of the things that I recognized was this: that it's not what you know, it's
Yeah.
who you know, and we've always known that, right?
Yeah.
So if you make the right connections,
Mm-hmm.
and those right connections put you in the right room with the right people, and
Yeah.
you drop a few names here and there, and
Yes.
people drop your name here and there,
Right.
then in the wealthy world, money world, they assume that you fit in in that world, regardless of whether you've proven it or not.
Yeah.
They never got one piece of paper that actually verified and validated that she had $60 million in a trust.
This sounds so similar to that ex-con that we just kicked out of office, because that's
Right.
what he did, claiming he's a billionaire, but he couldn't prove it.
And this young lady, now, at least he was here and more born in the United States
Yeah.
with a father who did have wealth, right?
Right. Right.
This young lady came in with a German accent, and that's it. That's all she had. She wasn't even like a super beautiful girl at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Just the fact that she dropped, she couldn't, she stayed in hotels because she was here on a visa,
Yeah.
so she couldn't rent a place. So she stayed in hotels, racked up all of these hotel bills, never paid them,
Uh-huh.
and would move from place to place. And then if she couldn't stay in a hotel, then she was staying with wealthy people, just squatting at their houses or on their boats. You have to watch it. But all this to be said, that it's not always, it's who you know
Right.
and how people believe who you are. So
Right.
when we all talk about certain things that we can't do, then when you watch this, you're like, oh well, maybe so. And then there's another one that's on called The Tender Swindle, and this young man, she swindled about $420,000, I think.
Wow.
$420 million. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
But he, on the other hand, he swindled $10 million. He spent 4 months in jail. That's it.
Yeah, 4 months.
4 months in jail.
I'm
She
telling
spent
you,
4 years in jail on 8 counts. But so all I'm saying is, in today's world, some of the limitations that were there before because of the internet
yeah,
has made it much more accessible for you to do what you need to do. So we just have to position ourselves and open up our mind, and as we all say, think out of the box,
so we can gain access to
so
those.
we can gain access to that. And it's not, when there's a certain amount of money in play, and when you're making a certain amount of money, the color of your skin has less importance in that world.
Right.
So if you make money in the stock market, or you make money, in Bitcoins or wherever, or real estate, that levels the playing field just a little bit.
That's true. That is
Right.
true.
So that's what we have to look at. We as a people, and that's what I'm going to kind of talk about today, is that there is a way out of what we're in, but we have to kind of just think bigger. We have to stop thinking about small businesses that's never going to do any more than maybe $100,000. We got to think about creating businesses that can be conglomerates or can be franchised. We have to think in multiples as opposed to a single solitary business.
Right. Well, I think that makes a great segue into your next segment, their presentation that you're going to present on the on the Black resources, Black organizations, Black sustainability. So,
right. So we're going to talk.
For those of you who are just tuning in, this is the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. We're on every Friday from 3 to 4:30. And if you want to connect with us, you can go to YouTube and you can subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button so we can notify you, let you know when the show is coming on, let you know when we have some goodies for you, let you know when we've got some good materials to help you in your business. Or you can go to Facebook and you can also log in there and check out the show. But today, we're going to have an amazing presentation by my co-host, Crystal Mitchell. And after that, I get to interview her.
You get to interview me. So, Gilbert, the one thing that you always talk about, and I talk about as the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars, is how the power of the the spending power of the black dollar, and how many times our dollar actually recycles in our community. So we can't have a Black History Month event or celebration without having this conversation. This conversation is predicated on everything that we are built on, right? And we're always talking about recreating Black Wall Street. Well, we have to create the businesses just like they did, our ancestors did, in order to create the original Black Wall Street. But I want to first share a video so that we will be put in the right frame of mind and perspectiveness, because this was something else when I heard this. So get ready for it.
All right.
Let me put us there, and there we are. All right. Okay. All righty. So I am going to shift us to black spending power, and this is current. This is as of 2021.
Mm. Can you make this
Once we get that,
bigger? Bigger?
yeah, let me see if I can make it.
Wanted to do that.
Let's see, can I make it? Let me see. Stop. Let it go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, there. All right, there we can make it bigger. Righty, bigger.
Yes, much bigger. Yes.
Let's
much
go.
Bigger, yes.
Okay. Okay, why can't I get it to play?
So this video is and make it count. Make it count.
Yeah. All right.
It is time now for the Opportunity Series, and Frank Holland joins us this morning with a closer look at the growth in.
Oh, play.
Can you refresh it? Can you refresh it?
Black spending.
Hey, good morning to you, Andrew. Spending power reached a record 1 point in 2021. The ability to buy, save, and invest more than doubling since 2000. That growth exceeding the full U.S. economy, but actually lagging other ethnic groups. Latinos with a 288% increase, Asians with a 388% increase in spending power. However, other groups, they've also seen an increase in their net worth. Black Americans instead have seen their wealth actually fall by 14%. And with the S&P gaining 27% last year, the value of U.S. homes increasing by 31% last year. Black leaders are asking the black community to really rethink.
Save money to purchase the most important asset, and that's your home. And that to me is equally important. As I said, I'd put it right up there with or campaigning for or supporting voting rights.
I would love to see us spend more money in the stock market instead of buying the hottest new, the stock of the hottest new thing. And that's something that is down generation to generation.
Home ownership is typically the biggest wealth builder in the black community. That's actually fallen more than 3% since 2000. And black families accumulate $300 billion less wealth than white families, and they save $75 billion less. The racial wealth gap now at more than $11 billion. Back over to you.
Frankie, the statistics are startling, fascinating in so many different ways. Do business leaders and other experts have thoughts about the stop trend and what's really behind it?
Yeah, of course. It is simply allocating more capital to have the potential to appreciate things like houses, stocks, and bonds. Other reasons are systemic, and that's why 1 out of every 5 black family has a negative net worth right now. Systemic issues in housing, disparities in education, and other issues that are going to take a longer time to address.
So startling, huh?
Mm-hmm. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Wow.
So we have to ask ourselves.
We've been beating this drum for a long time, though, and nobody's listening.
Right, exactly. So we're going to talk today about the power of the black spending dollar. And we're going to speak on this because I think there are some we can do better than what we do. Okay, so if we want respect, we can use our dollars. If we have $1.6 trillion, now that is increased because prior to the pandemic, it was $1.2 trillion. Right. So that has increased.
For sure.
We increased that by $4 trillion. I mean, it's like, really? $1.6 trillion is, and I used to have a diagram on what that really looked like, right? How many Starbucks could you actually buy with $1.6 trillion? But we have to ask ourselves, what the heck are we spending all of this money on? Right?
Exactly, because we don't see anything. We don't see, I was watching YouTube last night, and J.R. Smith, former Lakers, was on there speaking about, hey, I know Jay-Z, I know Paul George. I know who else? Some of the big high
Big,
power basketball players. And
right.
he said, you know, whenever they come to town, they have to rent this gym or expensive gym or whatever. He said, why can't we all just pool our money and just build a gym? So when they come here, they don't have to worry about, you know, what the facility look like and all that. They can just benefit from that. And he said, you know, our people just don't want to pool our resources. We don't want to.
Right, exactly, and that's systemic of slavery. But we have to figure out a way to get over that. Even during the Super Bowl, we talked about that a couple weeks ago on the business model of the Super Bowl, right?
Right.
And one of the things that and then during that time of the Super Bowl, we were hearing things like, you know, black players are overpaid, overrated, over this, over that. But black players make up 70% of the players. So why do we not have more power? And why are we not using that power? Because you're coming to that stadium or you're watching football to watch a black player, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's the thing. So Asians, as we know, when we look at our community dollars and how they turn over, Asians dollars turn over 28 times throughout the month. The Jewish community, their dollars turn over 19 times. The Latin community turns over 14 times, and of course, the white community's dollars turn over unlimited time. And we know that our black dollars only turn over 6 hours. Which is really quite sad.
It is sad. It's very sad.
So when we define what is the African American consumer marketplace,
Yeah.
that is the money that we as African Americans, black people, whatever you want to call us, that we spend on consumer products and other services throughout the country with everybody else but those that look like us, right?
Right.
So there are more than 37 million black people in America, and we basically are spending $1.1 trillion in value annually. And now in 2021, during the year after the pandemic, we are spending $1.6 trillion. So when we look at that, where is this money going? So unfortunately, it's going to everywhere else but to our own communities, to people that look like ourselves. And we don't necessarily we don't employ our own employees of people, so we're not putting money back. We're not buying products and services from companies of people that look like us. We're not investing our money in black-owned banks that are providing financial services for black people, or we're not making charitable contributions to HBCUs and other educational platforms or health platforms that are run by black people.
But you know, a lot of the basketball players have pledged to donate to those HBCUs, you know, like Chris Paul and a few others. I think LeBron is one of them too. So those guys are pumping money into the HBCUs. As a matter of fact, last week was NBA All-Star Game.
Mm-hmm.
And just before the show started, they announced that they were gifting some money to the HBCUs.
Well, that's good. So that's because that's going in the right direction. And last year, Robert was not Robert Johnson. No, this guy's Lewis. He is he's a big time realtor. He actually paid off the debt. I don't know if a couple years ago, he paid off the debt of all of the students, the juniors that were at juniors and seniors that were at Howard.
Right.
So, and that's going in the right direction. That is us now taking care of our own. So how did this cycle begin, right? So the cycle basically began back in slavery, where we were taught that what we value, or the things that what we should be valuing, should not be the stuff or the things that are things that we produce, right?
Right, right.
Although if we look at the historical look at history, what are the things that we've been talking about? We've created iron boards and heart valves and cataract machines and peanuts and light bulbs and all those things. So if our ancestors did it, then there is value to it, because without the free labor from Black people, which was our ancestors, that is how white America became rich, right?
Which nobody wants to talk about.
Right, but that's the truth, right? So we have to focus on, so the question is, what kind of institutions should Blacks create? So we need to focus on large businesses that have the capacity to produce large revenue streams, right? So we need to look at owning large scale media companies, financial services firms, private equity firms, hedge funds,
Insurance companies,
construction companies, because these are the businesses that shaped America.
right?
Right? When the plantation owners were using us for their free labor. Just imagine if today somebody was working for us for free.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to pay labor. We didn't have to pay payroll, right? Payroll makes up 65%, 45 to 65% of any operating expense for any business that are out there that have employees. So if we had free work, we had free labor, all of us would be rich. So how do we jumpstart and be able to create these types of enterprises? So the key to a vibrant Black community of is entrepreneurship. So that's what you and I focus on, helping people create and launch businesses that can create wealth for themselves and for their family. So, but the category, we can't think T-shirts. We can't think jewelry. We got to think insurance companies. We have to look at companies that will create at least $50 million of annual revenue. So we need to target sectors that have exponential growth potentials that will create jobs and wealth for ourselves, for investors, and our employees. We have to do like other entities are doing. And so that's how we start this process. And I think today we can make that happen. Now, if we create those businesses, and I've talked about this with you, Gilbert, if we're creating those businesses that we are scaling those businesses so at some point we can sell those businesses. Right. Now we can take the resources for the sale, the millions that you're going to receive from the sale of your business and reinvest it back into your community.
And part of that is to help other businesses get started, or coach or mentor those businesses so they too can become successful and share the wealth.
And share the wealth. So Sheila Johnson, a co-founder of BET, she made millions from selling BET, and then she took that money and she started she started new businesses and invested in other opportunities and made philanthropic donations that benefited her race, her community.
She invested. She was one of the first female investors in the WNBA. She purchased a team. You know,
right. You just talked about her.
Yeah. So now she's helping to rebuild those women basketball players and also giving them an opportunity to own the team as well. So
exactly.
It's amazing.
So that's one of the things that we need to look at. So here are 4 ways that we can look at reinvesting in our Black communities today. I don't know if you've ever read the book, and this is for our audience. Maggie Anderson, she wrote a book a number of years ago on the 1 year that she and her family went on a quest to buy Black in America. And that's all they did for one whole year. And she wrote a book about it, and it's called The Empowerment Experiment. And she has a foundation. So you can go over there to her website.
I'll check it out. I didn't get to read that book, but I will definitely check it out.
Right. And it was an excellent, she went through and she told you the journey. So the first thing is actually invest. So, buy life insurance from a black agent, open a black bank account investment fund with a black bank. And now Los Angeles just there are not a lot of black banks. I think there's 20.
There's only one or two, right?
There's actually 47 of them in
Los
country.
Angeles?
No, in the country.
Oh, okay.
In Los Angeles, there's two. Right. There is One United Bank, which has they have brick and mortar, but they've really become an internet based branch a bank. But Broadway Federal, which is formerly Broadway Federal, is now not that. It's called shoot, I can't even remember it. It's my bank and I can't even remember it. So let me get the name of it. City First Bank, Broadway. So City First Bank actually has one of the largest black banks on the East Coast. They're out of DC area. So they merged with Broadway Federal, giving them a pretty high reserve, more with the two of them coming together. And Broadway Federal is actually a publicly traded stock, is publicly traded on the stock market. So really giving them a lot more power. So the merger actually is completed next month. We've been going through that process, but the merger is complete in March, which is next month. And so now we will be able to see that it's going to be able to bring some phenomenal resources. And my understanding from my branch manager that one of the philosophies of City First Bank is that they are there for the small business owner, and they work with you to make sure that you're ready. They don't just write you off when you come in and you don't have all of the 5 C's. They sit down and talk to you on an individual basis. So if you're in Los Angeles, you should all go over there. In Inglewood, they're in Inglewood on Market Street, City First Bank, and they're also on Figueroa. But there's some big changes coming down. Recycling Black Dollars has been been banking there for years. For the last, Muhammad did a change bank day, moved over $4 million over there of depositors, and I've been banking with Broadway Federal for the last 15 years. So they don't have a lot of branches, but that's something I think they're going to be working on now that they've merged with this other bank.
Right. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, and there's some other investment funds out there that are black owned that we can look at, and that you actually can look at by getting involved with. But insurance is a wealth builder, and can help you if you sit down with an agent and you sit down and they will help you create a plan for a wealth plan for yourself and your family. It will help you get closer to closing that wealth gap.
Right.
Number 2 is finding black businesses and spending money with them. And that's anywhere from a grocery store to an accountant to consultants like myself and Gilbert, from hairdressers and barbers and restaurants and all of that. Making sure you make a forcible effort to support a black business and support them regularly. And if you have a problem with them, because this is a thing when I first became the co-director of Recycle Black Dollars, everybody's like, oh, they have poor customer service. All black businesses have poor customer service. No, all black businesses don't have poor customer service. But if you did experience it, did you tell them?
They all see us as a monolithic, one group. We're homogeneous, we think the same way, we act the same way. It's ridiculous.
It really, truly is. And so I do make a conscious effort to spend money with Black businesses. I seek out new Black owned businesses. And then I spend my money with them. And then I go out and I tell everybody. Everybody has to make their own decisions, but
Right.
I do make a conscious effort to go out and find and patronize Black owned businesses and Black business owners that provide service.
Mhm.
The third one is stay at a Black owned hotel, and I just discovered this, so of course I am going to start looking into this, especially as travel is opening up. But
Yes.
staying at a Black owned hotel, and there's actually an association, the National Association of Black Hotel Owners. That's the website right there, nabhood.net. And you will find hotels in 30 different states and one district nationwide, which a
See,
district is
I don't think too many people knew about that website. It's called nabhood.net.
H
NABHOOD.net.
right dot net. And this is where you find the Black owned hotel. Now I have stayed at a Black owned hotel in Florida,
Uh-huh.
and I stayed at a Black owned hotel in Prince George in DC, in Maryland. Both of them were exceptional,
Mhm.
absolutely exceptional. So I'm going to go to that website and I'm going to find some Black hole. And when I look at travel opens up, then I'm going to give them a try. And then number four is the area that you and I um, uh, uh, operate in, is helping people consider entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Starting a business has the potential, and starting a business that has the potential to scale, not
Right.
just a mom and pop type of business. We can no
Right.
longer do mom and pops.
Right.
We even those of us that are consultants, we need to look at our businesses and and direct those business owners to looking at creating a bigger business, not
Yeah.
just a small business that that in the long run is not going to make a change or an impact in our communities. We
I
really
love
have
these
to.
pointers, co-host. These are very good pointers. And I see William was reaching out. Is this William Bryan or
Yeah, that's William Bryan. He's a financial planner. He was.
is he
I don't think.
is he on the call here
No,
today?
I think he left. I don't think he's there any longer, but he was here earlier.
Oh,
Um,
wow. He would
but
have he would have been a good person to contribute to this conversation because he talks a lot about black wealth and black investment and black resources. So that would
yeah,
have been good.
we're gonna get rid. I think we had him on the show earlier on, and back in 2020. I think he had just got
Yeah.
over COVID. We'll get him back on the
We gotta get
show.
him back. Yes, we definitely got to get him back. I miss talking to him, man. So
Yeah. Now some of the businesses that when we talk to our clients, because on a norm, most of our businesses are service based business, right?
yeah,
Most of the businesses. But if I stop to think about, and you can you're doing the same thing I'm doing, how many of them are actually have scalable businesses?
not too many. I would say perhaps maybe 15 to 20%, and that's being generous. 15 to 20%. The other 80% are in non-scalable businesses. And again, that was another reason why many of our minority and black businesses suffered during COVID, the COVID pandemic, because the business wasn't really scalable and it wasn't pivotable because they didn't prepare it to be pivotable. So that makes it
Right.
really difficult. So
That
it's
makes it
amazing.
really difficult. So one of the things I did a search, and so for those of you that are looking to start a business, and as we move forward, some of the most profitable small businesses are businesses that bookkeeping and accounting. That's my area of expertise. Consulting, graphic design, social media management, And this one right here is a new one that just popped up because of the fact that we're in a virtual world. But virtual assistants, you know, you don't have to be in someone's office to help them now.
Right.
And you charge an hourly hourly
Right.
consulting fee, a rate, or hourly, how many hours. You may say, I'm going to work for you for 20 hours, and they pay you for the month, right? So that's one. Some other very profitable businesses is auto repair, because it just costs a whole lot of money to get your car fixed.
Yeah.
Food trucks. The food truck movement is huge and growing.
Yeah.
And you can now, instead of being locked in brick and mortar, you can take your truck to wherever the people are.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So
That mobile ability, man, will help with that growth and that scaling. And at one point I want to add in there is growing a business sometimes is just helping the business to grow from one point to the next. But scaling the business is growing your business for the next generation. You know, it
right.
provides generational wealth to your next generation. So that's one way I'd like our small businesses to look at scaling. When you're scaling your business, is it improving your sales? Is it improving the infrastructure of your business so that it will last for your next generation so you can pass it down? So that's how you want to look at it, folks.
Exactly. But again, thinking bigger, broader, more innovative, and disruptive.
Yeah.
Not being afraid to do to create a disruptive business that there's already an immediate need out there, but now you're going to add some value and solve additional problems that the existing businesses don't have the capacity to do, right? So being able to think out of the box and be creative when you're developing your business, and they're not taking the safe route. I think that's what has happened. We take the safe route, whatever is the easiest. And I get it. We don't have a lot of capital, right? That's kind of how we got here. We don't have a lot of capital. But in a world today where you can crowdfund, if you got a good idea, you can, and there's some people out there who are looking for businesses to invest in.
You know,
I think it's going to be a high return.
I think we should bring someone on this show, Crystal, who is involved in crowdfunding or even a Kickstarter program to share their knowledge with our audience. I think that would be very helpful.
Okay, I will see if I can. I will do some outreach and find that person.
Because maybe some of the reason why some of our folks don't either understand scaling or is afraid to try scaling is because they feel like, hey, if I do my little niche, you know, selling my little product, just making the bills, then I'm fine. But that's not sustainable. You know, you want to generate revenues that can be passed down to your next generation.
Yeah, exactly. Another business that is a high profitable business is a car wash service.
Oh yeah.
I used to a guy that I managed. He owned a couple of gas stations, and this was back a number of years ago when the gas industries were feeling guilty that there were no black-owned gas stations. So he actually owned 3 of them.
Yeah.
And 2 of them had car washes attached to them. Mm-hmm. And the way in the at this time, if you bought in and invested in to own a commercial gas station, a Shell or Texaco, you were partnered up with Shell and Texaco. Yeah. Shell and Texaco got the lion's den of the gas. You got like 25% of the sale, right? So they got the lion's den. But everything in your convenience store and your gas, if you had a car wash, was yours. Mm-hmm. So in the state of California or Los Angeles, where we don't get any rain, or if we did get rain, it messes up your car, right? So
Right.
we spend a large amount of money on getting our cars washed through those automatic car washes. So it blew me away. Now I manage the money and I record and I track the money. So I saw this happening, guys. On in the summer or any sunny day, he would make somewhere between $3,000 to $4,000 a day, and that was on a light day. He could actually make up to $7,000 or $8,000 if it was in the summer or if it was before a holiday, and in the summertime before the weekend.
Right.
And on the maintenance contract on the car wash was $1,000, $1,200 a month. That was the literal expenses every month for the car wash.
Wow.
So if you're making $6,000 minus your $1,200, multiply that by 12. Look how much money you are making.
Unbelievable, man. We just need to sit down, put our heads together, and really think of those types of things. And many of that we don't think about. You know, we don't think about that. Another business, Crystal, that can create some level of generational wealth that can be scaled as well is the power washing business. You know, people
Yes.
use that power wash. You power wash the sidewalk or a piazza or something like that. That's
Exactly.
unbelievable.
Yeah, those are also. I think you have a client. She has a cleaning business,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
she does power washing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so these are kind of basic, but this is like Warren Buffett says. These are businesses that people will need every single day. Car washes they will need every single day.
Yeah.
Auto mechanic shops you will need every single day,
Sure,
right?
sure.
Buying even a franchise for a Valvoline. Everyone has to go every 3,000 miles to get the oil change.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
On an average spending about $70, $75, $85 for at that time with a multiple number of cars. And whenever I've gone to get my car there, you know, and they do it in 9 minutes. So they're turning over hundreds of cars in every 9 minutes, right? By the end of the day, they'd have seen tens of thousands of possibly cars in a month.
Right.
$70 a pop.
Yeah.
All right. So makes
That's
sense
amazing.
to me.
That's amazing, man. That's
And
amazing.
then electronic repairs. Obviously, everyone's got $1,200 cell phones, so you're not going to go buy a new one. You're going to go get your phone repaired, right?
Yeah.
So, creating a business in that area. IT support. So many people, and I cannot tell you how many people are always screaming, "I'm technically challenged." Okay, so you need somebody to help you if you're technically challenged in order to and that's a high profiting business. Personal trainers, especially right now after the pandemic, everybody gonna be looking for a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a new one, and I've seen so many people uh, paying and securing um, individuals that can help them when doing their pre and post pregnancy services. So doulas are really huge right now. Most of my friends have doulas or have had doulas to help them have birth. So they were saying in 2016, 1.2 million millennials became first-time mothers. So just imagine having a service that if you were a doula or you were a lactation consultant. And I've had several women in some of my classes that that's the business they were going in.
Right. You know, this data is amazing. We need to put this on the Business Zone's website because it opens the eyes of many aspiring entrepreneurs and even some existing entrepreneurs too. Make them start looking at options. And again, the ones who really didn't cut it during the pandemic, they couldn't pivot, they couldn't sustain it. Maybe this will give them a second time around. And they say the second time around is always better than the first because you learn some stuff through bumps and bruises.
Mm-hmm.
So this may help them this time around.
I think so. And if you're providing services, it doesn't cost you as much money to launch your business.
Right.
You need a computer, you need a phone, you need a website, right?
Our licenses, permits,
And the licenses and permits. That's under $5,000. You can literally start your business.
oh, even less than that. When you can start with, let's say, anywhere from 1,500 to 2,500. You know,
No, like,
1,500 to 2,500.
so don't go to McDonald's for 6 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't eat out for 6 months, and there you go. You have your investment to start your business. You don't even need physical business cards anymore.
No, you don't. You don't.
Everything is done electronically. So there's so many opportunities out there, mobile apps and entertainment for children, enrichment programs for children, vacation rentals, that's the Airbnbs, academic courses and online courses is huge. Language courses, people are looking to expand. Business and marketing courses, just taking your personal knowledge and being able to create a course and be able to educate other people. And there are platforms, if you don't have all the equipment, there are platforms that you can create your course, upload it to that platform. You get a smaller percentage, but then after you get the hang of it, then you then go do your own. Create your own courses. And there are people out there that, for a nominal fee will actually create the course for you. If you're already doing training and webinars online on Zoom, you might as well put it in an evergreen type of environment and keep reselling that baby.
Yeah.
So I think I shared with you guys before, when I invested in the training for and investing in myself, not even investing in the training. I was investing in myself and my business, and I spent about $1,900 for a course. Learned so much. Now I'm getting ready to produce my own course. But the lady that I learned from, that was the course that I took, this lady, when I signed on the first day, there were 70 people who had also paid that $1,900.
Oh wow! let me do a quick calculation. That's $133,000 right there. $133,000
for a 6-month course, which she only showed up. It was all pre-recorded. It was all you learned at your own pace. She did once a month once a month webinar for an hour, and she'd do a Q&A, or she'd do a training class every other month. So in that 6-month period, that was what hers were. There are some that do every 3 months. And they're still charging that kind of money, but they have expertise in their area. And so now, instead of getting $100 or $125 an hour, now you're making real money. That is the value of the education and special knowledge that you have.
That's amazing, man.
So something to think about. Bookkeeping and accounting, excellent choice of and that's going to be my course, creating a consulting business that's based upon accounting and bookkeeping. Everyone's gonna, no matter what business you're in, no matter what the economic status of the country is, whether we're in a recession or not in a recession, every business needs to have an account and a bookkeeper. Everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody.
It's just like having a cash flow management department in your business. You need bookkeeping.
You need bookkeeping. So that is a recession-proof skill set and a recession-proof business to have. Graphic design, as long as you're not doing moms and pops kind of stuff, and you actually invested in yourself so that you learn how to use the tools of that industry, then you can charge pretty good money for those businesses. And social media management, who doesn't need someone to manage their social media?
I
And
do. I need someone.
right. And if these people are spending all day long, or their phone never leaves their hands, they're very good at social media, then you need to have somebody pay you. Because
Yeah,
as Gilbert says, he needs to help. He is not a solo person out there, business owner that doesn't need it. He needs
right.
it. And then finally, virtual assistant services. So these are some of the businesses that was 23 of them to be exact. If
Yeah,
you're looking to start a business which will change our community, look at some of these businesses. They don't require a lot of money. As Gilbert said, the most $1,500 to come into a to create a consulting business, about $1,500.
yeah, definitely. That's what it cost me to get started, and that included purchasing a laptop. You know,
Right.
the laptop I purchased was at the time for $599. Now you can get it for $699. You know, and then the rest of it was to get my business license. You know, all my little permits and everything, and that's it.
There
That's
you
it.
go.
Yeah.
So we have to look at things differently, but we have to look at creating businesses that make a change. Now, if you already have that type of business, now you need to look at how can you expand your marketing to a broader area. Now, let me make something very, very clear from a Recycling Black Dollar standpoint. All money is green. So if people of other ethnicities want to commission your services, you're not going to turn them down. But what you then need to do is take your dollars and put them back into your community. And
Right.
also you support other businesses and other business owners that look like yourself. But that does not say to you, don't take anybody else's money. Don't
And
ever turn down money unless it's not all money is good money, but do your due diligence.
and another thing that we want to re-emphasize here on this show today, Crystal, is the black dollars stay how long in the community?
6 hours.
6 hours. 6 pitiful hours, guys. 6 pitiful hours. Our dollars stay in the community, and then it flies away. It goes to some other community.
But I didn't say they turned over 6 times. I just
Right.
said they stayed in the community for six
Stays in
hours.
the community 6 hours.
So they're not even turning
No.
over 6 times.
Keep that in mind, folks. So we want to increase that number because the other groups, you know, their dollars stay a little longer in the community. So let's think about
28 times if you're Asian.
yes.
Yeah, they turn over 28 times. So guys, that we're just saying that look at your business different. Look at the business not just for yourself. And I have to add this, Gilbert.
Yes.
If you are running a business and you are only making $60,000 gross,
Mm-hmm.
and your net is $20,000,
Mm-hmm.
then you need to go work for somebody.
You need to go work for somebody. You need to go because your expenses are going to be much less than if you're an employee than if you're an entrepreneur. Because as an entrepreneur, you got to take care of your bills and expenses at home. Plus, you got to take care of the bills and expenses in the business out of that 60 grand. So it's not going to be too favorable for you.
Right, exactly. So in order to create that wealth, we have to be creating businesses with a projection and forecast of more in the nature of 100,000, right?
Yeah.
And maybe you coming home with 60,000 after after your operating expenses. But
Right.
the other way, the 60 gross and
Mhm.
20 net, no.
Yeah.
Who can live on $20,000?
No.
Right? So and that's probably before your taxes. So you add the taxes, your city taxes, your all that other stuff. You're probably coming home with $10,000. So
So let's just say let's just say that your net is 20,000, right? For the year, 20,000. That means you're making $1,666 a month. A month. Your rent is gonna be more than that.
Your rent is $3,000. You operating in the hole.
So that alone right there, man, is not helping. So
right. So we want to start looking at businesses. One, which is so important, is making sure you have a solid business structure and that the business is business ready. You don't necessarily have to have loans. They are great when you're planning on moving and scaling and moving the level of the business, because that's when you want it. You just don't want a loan to be paying your operating expenses, right? Because you got to pay that loan back. So, but you can make money. And as I always say, a business needs to have multiple revenue streams.
Yeah.
It cannot function on a one revenue stream. It has to. So if you're a consultant, then do consulting, do teaching, provide services, sell some product. You have to have multiple revenue streams. And
if you have a product that you can license, then you license that. That's another stream for you. So you want to get up there to, Crystal recommends 9 revenue streams. Well, let's say you guys can't get to the 9, maybe 7 will help you out. So 7 to 9 revenue streams would really put your business in a nice position.
Well, as my mentor, Dr. Rosie Milligan, says, she has a revenue stream for every operating expense that she has.
I love that. I love that concept. You know what? That's a great concept, because if you have an operating expense and you can find a revenue stream for that, wouldn't that be beautiful?
Would that be beautiful, right? Every expense you have, there's a revenue stream that can offset that. At the same time, making sure you have money that you're investing in the stock market or wherever, some investment fund, so that you are growing that money. So you have to make sure you have your savings off the top of all of that, right? But a revenue stream for every expense that you have. So there's a revenue stream for your employees. There's a revenue stream if you own a home. This is on your personal side. If you own a home, a revenue stream that's paying the mortgage or the rent, right? Revenue stream that pays for your utilities, your cell phone, whatever it takes you to run your business and your life, having revenue streams to maximize the
I like that, Crystal. I'm gonna adopt that philosophy, because I'm telling you, because if you think about it, if you can develop a revenue stream for each operating expense, then think you're positioned to be much more profitable with that generational wealth that we're seeking.
Exactly. So there you go. You can get there much faster. So that's how we get there. We look at. So I want everyone to look at their expenses and then look at the potential revenue streams that can come into your household, into your business, that can offset those revenue streams. Then make sure you have a budget so you know exactly how much money is going in and out of your business. Eliminate the waste. Go lean. So in today's world, we have to look at subscriptions, because subscriptions cost us a lot of money, and we don't even think about it, because it's just $9 here, $7 here, $5 here, $40 here, adds up. So if you can do without some of those things, then reduce that. Take the money that you've opened up for yourself and put that into some sort of investment device, so that you can now start, because the money was already coming out, right? You were obviously you were already not missing it, because it wasn't there, right? Because it was being used anyway. So just take that money and reallocate it into some sort of investment vehicle that actually can start making money for you.
That's beautiful. I love it.
That's my Black History moment, Gilbert. is how we can get out of this hole, how we can make a change, how we can utilize our businesses to generate more revenue, to make a change in our personal wealth as well as our business wealth, and make a change and impact in our community.
These were excellent tips. And again, like I say, we're going to go ahead and put these on our website. And not only are we going to put these tips, but we're also going to put the tips on certain businesses that you can look at that will help you to scale quickly and could produce generational wealth for you as an entrepreneur. So this has been a great session here today. We're not preaching to you as entrepreneur or business owners, but what we're doing, we're sharing our expertise, and hopefully some of you will see the little bit of nuggets in that and tap some of that in your business. But what we're gonna do right now, Crystal, I sent you a link
Okay.
for my commercial. We're gonna do a quick commercial break, and we're gonna start interviewing my co-host Crystal so she can tell you a little bit about her organization, Recycling Black Dollars, and how that's valuable to the community and also valuable to you as a small business.
All righty. So let me go over to my email in order to find the link.
And in the meantime, while Crystal is doing that, I want to remind you guys that the Business Zone is hosted by Crystal Mitchell and Gilbert Buchanan every Friday from 3 to 4:30. And you can log into the show by going to YouTube and just log in, subscribe to the program so you can get any information that we send, any nuggets that we have, we want to share, any videos, any materials. You could get that by subscribing, and the subscription is free. You don't have to pay anything. We're not charging you anything. This is a free subscription. You can also go to Facebook at Facebook Live, and you'll see the show. As a matter of fact, right now it's being broadcast live on YouTube and on Facebook. So
exactly.
If any of you want to learn about the things that we provide, the information we provide here on the Business Zone, just tune in every week. Every week is a different subject.
All righty. Okay, so let me pull this up so I can get it to play. And we're going to have a little commercial break, guys, and then we're going to come back. Now, this is Gilbert's other revenue stream.
That's
and
right.
He designed to help you as a small business owner be able to manage your business better and to make sure you know where all your documents are. So, whoop, 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 whoop. Stop. He was running on without me. Okay. Here we go. Wait.
And takes care of all your record keeping? Does your current record keeping system send you 90-day alerts?
Uh-oh. Oh, there. I was trying to get it bigger.
Oh, okay. Can it rewind? Okay.
So that you can see it,
Can
Gilbert.
it rewind?
It's just pulling in. Okay.
To remind you that payments are about to expire and need to be renewed? Can you find German
Oh, I'm here.
opportunities in seconds from any of 50 United States so you can grow your business? Is your business organized so that you can tell which key documents are needed to efficiently run the business? How about owned small business or disadvantaged business enterprise certifications? Do you have a checklist of all the key documents you need to become certified? Does your current system allow you to conduct market research from multiple sources and provide you industry and market data in seconds? Well, Small Biz Pro does all of that and more. Small Biz Pro is the #1 business management, compliance, procurement assistance, and market research assistance tool on the market today. Download the app now and you will be amazed. It's like having 3 additional employees working for you, but you don't have to pay them. What are you waiting for?
All right.
This
So
is
Small
amazing.
Biz Pro.
That's right. That's right, folks. You make sure if you can't find your paperwork, you don't know where it is, you don't know how to organize a business. This is a great tool for you, and we can provide it here on the show to assist you. So, if you call in and provide some key questions or information on your business, we'll be happy to gift you guys a couple of copies of this weekly. So, just let us know. So
All righty.
with that being said, you folks just listen to my co-host sharing with you some great tips and ideas about black wealth and black dollars in the community and how you can grow your business, you can scale your business. And now we want to go ahead and interview my co-host, Miss Crystal Mitchell. And so that you can learn a little bit more about her, you can learn about her involvement in the community, how she got started in this business, and why circulating the black dollars in the community for a much longer period of time is so important to her. So, without further ado, everyone, this is my co-host, Miss Crystal Mitchell. Crystal, how are you today?
I'm awesome, Gilbert. You know, I'm always awesome in this space. I love sharing and helping small businesses in my community, especially.
Exactly. So, tell us how you got started in entrepreneurship and then transition to where you first got involved with recycling black dollars.
Well, the journey actually started about 30 something years ago. And I knew post college, or I knew in college, before college. Before college, that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I come from a generation. I'm the third generation entrepreneur, so I knew that was just where I was going because that's what I was used to. That's what I was accustomed to in my household. My mom was a seamstress, and she also had a hair salon, and she did hair as we were growing up. And in addition to that, she had her 9 to 5, so to speak. She was a nurse, a surgical nurse, but she always had something on the side, her gig, and she also clothed. As I said, she was a seamstress. My aunt, same thing. She did household decor and interior design, and my uncle. He always had his side thing going on. My grandmother made quilts. So everybody. My grandfather was a caterer. So it just was natural. It's naturally part of who I am, my DNA. And but I knew in the early part of my career that I needed to work for a corporation to make sure that I understood how a business runs from inside of a successful business and all of the different components and that go along with that. So did that. Also use them as use them in order to acquire some of the skills that I knew I was going to need in the business that was going to start. So initially my business was, actually it evolved to accounting and bookkeeping, but it did not start that way. The way it started as a consultant, right at the height of the time when people were buying their home-based computers, because remember the computers that was in the office and the green screen, with the little dot matrix printer, right? And nobody knew how to turn it on. Nobody knew how to turn it off. No one knew how to navigate past whatever the company had set it up for you when you set up the day for your day, right? So when people started buying home computers, when they became affordable, people didn't know how to turn them on. They didn't know how to turn them off. They didn't know how to get to the internet. At that time, we called it the WWW. The World Wide Web. They didn't know how to get there. So that was what my business was, setting up individuals' home-based computers with software programs and then teaching them how to use it and navigate through it. And then it evolved.
Interesting. So coming from a long line of entrepreneurs in your family, you were provided an excellent foundation to start out as an entrepreneur and learn the key concept of entrepreneurship. And as you go along, you incorporated a lot of the knowledge and tidbits that you've learned. So
I did.
while you're traveling on that journey, one day on your journey, you made a pit stop, and that pit stop was at Recycling Black Dollars. So tell us about Recycling Black Dollars and how you were drawn to that.
Well, actually, I was brought in to Recycling Black Dollars to also automate them. I was brought in to help them create their social media platforms and to help manage their platforms and their books. I was doing their accounting and bookkeeping for Recycling Black Dollars, and under the director the interim director after Muhammad Nazarudeen, who is actually the founder of Recycling Black Dollars. So when he passed away, it then Willie Fan became their interim director, and then Willie Fan died about a year after Muhammad did. Mm-hmm. And so now here, Recycling Black Dollars that had been in the community for over 25 something years, didn't have a director. And so we were looking around for a director, but by that time I was very much involved. They had been a client of mine. They were a client, actually. They had been a client of mine for about 4 or 5 years. And so we were looking for directors. And then someone actually said to me, Krista, why don't you and Jackie do it? My partner in Recycling Black Dollars is Jackie B. And she had been with Recycling Black Dollars with Muhammad. And so I was like, that's not what I'm planning on doing. That's not on the vision board. But then after I said it, I gave it some thought, Gilbert, I thought, you know what? That could be on the vision board, because once that happens, that's going to open some doors for me that may not have been open to me without that in being the director of this organization. So I decided that from a strategic goal, business, a profession standpoint, that was a good diversion and a detour on the journey. And so that's what I did. And so today, it was one of the best decisions that I made, was to become the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars. It has really opened a lot of doors. I've been introduced to a lot of the leaders and the stakeholders in the community, and my own personal business have evolved because of that.
Well, because of all of that and the involvement of trying to get Black entrepreneurs involved in a system, in a program that can really help them and also provide some learning and training resources to them, you were able to branch off and launch your own community program as a result of the pandemic. So the pandemic was also a contributing factor to this. So you were able to do your own community briefing program. So tell us a little bit about that, Crystal.
So that was actually the pivot for Recycling Black Dollars, because one of the things that Recycling Black Dollars did. Now, let me back up just a quick for a moment. So one of the things that I recognized when I actually became part of the management of Recycling Black Dollars is that the reason that our dollars weren't being recycled was because our businesses were not being run properly, and that and I had skill sets that I could contribute to making a change there. And that was the biggest issue. People were like, but the businesses don't provide me with what I need, so therefore that's why I'm not supporting them. Okay, well, let's just make sure that they do. And so that's what I did. So now fast forward, several key or signature programs that Recycling Black Dollars did. Now, what everybody needs to know is, with all the organizations in the city of Los Angeles, Recycling Black Dollars, or RBD, is a marketing business. That we're a marketing company, right? So we create a resource guide. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but it's right here, called Recycling Black Dollars, and we produce this guide every year. And it has businesses in there so that you know where the Black businesses are in Los Angeles, right? And so there's over 700 and something businesses in this little booklet, and we produce this booklet every year, and it's been produced for the last 15 years. So that's what we do in the community. That's our position, is to make sure you can't say I can't support a Black business because I don't know where they are. Well, yeah, you do. They're in here. This is also on our website. But then this year, Gilbert, in addition to pivoting and making sure that Recycling Black Dollars stayed relevant, we used to do a signature breakfast mixer every month because, again, we're about marketing. So we're bringing business people together so that they can support each other's business. Well, when the pandemic came along, we no longer could see people. And things were happening, right? We needed to be able to tell people where to go get money, how to apply for the care relief packages that were coming out, how to apply for unemployment, how to do whatever they needed to do and stay in their faces during this time so that the businesses didn't just all dissipate into thin air. So I thought, well, I do workshops all the time. You and I were already doing online teaching and training and workshops. So it was no biggie for me. Yeah. So I was like, let me put together a workshop. And that's what it was supposed to be, a workshop on where are the resources, where are the grants, where are the loans, where are the whatever during this time, right? And so I put that together. And I broadcast it live when I put it together. And after it was done, everybody was calling, going, "Oh, that was fantastic! Wow! So what's happening next week?" Next week, that was supposed to be a one-off.
That was a one-time only broadcast, but they felt to do it again.
So the demand was.
That's how it was born.
And that was how it was born. I reached out, and a couple people, my other friends and colleagues reached out, and the BBA, they reached out to Black Business Association to ask if they'd be on board. And so it became a vehicle for RB and the BBA. And then all of a sudden, everybody started coming on. So now we have 4 moderators that are there, and 3 moderators, including myself, and then 1 producer. And they go out, and we go out, and we find stakeholders and leaders in our community, and we bring them to this platform every Thursday at 11 a.m., and it's called the Community Briefing. You can reach out to me if you want a link it's a Zoom meeting, but then you can find it. It's archived. It's actually archived on the Business Zone's YouTube channel. And you just go look for the Community Briefing. There's also a website for it. You can see all the previous speakers, and you can also see the speakers that are coming up in the next couple of weeks. So we're working on our March Women's History Month as well, just like the Business Zone. And so that's how the Community Briefing came about. So it started out as a resource platform, so you would know where to find money resources.
Where to find money for COVID, the COVID recovery, and also what grants were being announced by different county and city governments.
Right.
And people fell in love with the data so much, they just go, when are you going to do it again, Chris?
Right. And so it's become a mainstay. We've been told that people say, I look forward to Thursday morning at 11 o'clock. We have we're growing our audience. We've had as far as people over the last 2 years, we've been on the air now for 2 years. We have about 900 people that have come through to sign up of the program. And we have somewhere between probably 25 people every week.
You've had some very prominent and distinguished community personalities on this program, Krista, as guest speakers. You've got people from PCR, which is Pacific Coast Regional Lending Institution. You've got people from county government. You've got people from the state. And all of these folks come in and they contribute to the conversation by helping out small businesses to let them know where resources are, how they can tap into it, and pitfalls to avoid, and points that can help them to be advantageous in their business. So you want to talk about some of those?
Exactly. So we have had everyone from Victor Parker, who's a director, big executive director at the SBA.
Yeah.
We've had Mike Ferrer, who's a candidate for mayor. We've had yesterday we had Daryl. Thursday we had Daryl Brown, who used to be the former
is he president? The
president of U.S. Bank.
U.S. Bank.
U.S. Bank. He's retired now. He has a new company called the Rewirement, play on retirement. So it's really about change. It's called the Rewirement project. You guys can go over to YouTube, to our YouTube channel, the Business Zone YouTube channel, and check it out. Also on our podcast channels. We've had Greg Doolin. He came in right after the Super Bowl. Amazing interview with Greg.
And who is Greg Doolin?
Greg Doolin is the owner of Doolin's Soul Food Restaurant over on Crenshaw, and his family has a legacy business. We've had everybody on.
We've got DGS, Department of General Services.
We've had them. We've had the individuals. In fact, we're going to get them back. Sissy for the NFL, the business. Remember we talked about the NFL Business Connect. She's coming back. We're doing that.
And
we have
people from Chase Bank.
Bank, Wells Fargo, B of A, you name it, all the banks. That was how we got started, because all the banks were saying they had all this money, so we wanted to talk about having all that money. So where are you going to spend that money? And we've had Michael Larson from the Los Angeles Urban League. So just a lot of
Gibson from GLAC.
Yeah. So if you guys go over, there's like 79 archive videos that you want to check and see who's doing what. It basically is for the purpose of letting people know who are the movers and shakers in Los Angeles. And then you have a hands-on, you actually can have conversation, and you actually can ask direct questions of them. It's a good platform, and so it's really growing. Just like the recycling, just like the Business Zone. You know, we've been on the air for 6 years, and we're bringing information. I'm a component right now, Gilbert, that the audio or visual or media is the direction that those of us that are in the positions that we are in should be. We need to be in a media space. People don't necessarily read today, but they do listen and watch YouTube videos, and some of them binge on that platform. So where we are currently, that's where you need to be positioning your business.
And that's pretty much how our messages are going to get out there to the population, to the community, because people focus more on the visual. They may listen to audio, yes, but if it's accompanied by the video. So that's why we're doing these platforms, to send our messages over and over and over to small businesses and the people in our community. So folks, just by listening to this, you see how much juice and how much of a badass my co-host is, right? She coordinates all these efforts and she puts them out there on the platform. She streams it live every Thursday from 11 to 1 or to 12?
11 to 12. It's just an hour. It's like a lunch and learn.
11 to 12, folks, every Thursday. So if you want to reach out to her, I just put her phone number in the chat, or it's posted underneath her, that 1/3 on the screen. So you can reach out to her either by email or a phone number. Give her a call if you want to get on the show. If you want to get on this show also, the Business Zone, to talk about your business, and we can help to promote your business on the air, then you've got the same number for her and the same email. You've got my number over in the chat. My number is 888-882-1168. Of course, I'm Gilbert Buchanan, co-host with Crystal Mitchell. And Crystal, there's one other piece of information I'd like you to share with the audience. So
what's that?
With all of these great information that you're compiling and resources, and you already speak about the Recycling Black Dollars Guide, which says your black business matter. Crystal, how can they get involved with that app? How can they get involved with the app to sign up to have their business posted on that platform?
Well, let me just pull it up. So that would be the best way. But you actually, there is an app. That's we're taking the resource guide, and because we want to market to young people, and we know that's where they are. We are now on. We are now on. We now have an app that is just there for. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, is it Recycling Black Dollars?
No, it's actually the Greater LA Resource Guide. Gotta find it. Uh-oh. I don't know why it's not showing up. But anyway, you can actually reach out to me, and you can go to Recycling Black Dollars. Let me give you Recycling Black Dollars information, and it's all there. Recycling Black Dollars website, bdmedia.org, and which is Recycling Black Dollars. And you can reach out to me and let us know that you want to be in our resource guide. And if you the app is going to be absolutely amazing. It's already ready to go. And let me see if I can just kind of show you guys a little bit on my phone, our app. So we're really excited about that. It's called can you guys see it? The Greater Los Angeles Black Business Resource Guide. And what it does is it lets you, it's a guide that's here. And then when the guide pops up, depending on where you are, if you're eating, if you're looking for places to eat in the zip code that you're in, if you're looking to shop, it has a map, a very intuitive map, and you put the number, the marker, and it will tell you what restaurants are in the area that you are in. And your business also can be displayed there. It doesn't cost you anything to list your business. Let me find the link, or I will make sure that the link is in the description of the show on YouTube, and you guys can just click on and put your business on there, because we want to know where every Black business is. This is a project that we've done in conjunction with the Los Angeles Urban League. One of the other things that I'm really big on, Gilbert, is collaboration. Yeah. I personally believe that for us as a people to change our economic status, we have to have a collective one voice, right, and we all have to work together to get to that place where we're all speaking together.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be. We cannot afford to be fragmented, because once you're fragmented, then that weakens the structure, it weakens the infrastructure. So we gotta be cohesive. We gotta come together.
Right, and if we don't come together, we're never going to make a change, because the organizations and the communities out there that work together, those are the organizations that are making headway and strides to bettering their community. Those of us that tend to think that we can do this by ourselves, we are sadly mistaken. We can't make a change on the level and the impact we need to make a change with one voice, without having a collective one voice. So
there you guys have it, my friends. This is my co-host, Miss Crystal Mitchell, Executive Director of Recycling Black Dollars. She is also a professional super consultant who also provides training for a variety of different agencies around the Los Angeles region. And she's helped so many women organizations. It's just phenomenal. She does bookkeeping. That's her soft spot. That's her passion. But she also does a lot of business infrastructure setup, training, marketing, and all of that too. And one thing she hasn't told you in this interview is that she is a digital ninja. She can get out there and she can learn a program just like that, like Canva and all those programs, guys. all those presentation slides that you guys see on this show, that's her. She's just phenomenal. I'm just learning from her right now. I'm just holding on to her coattails and say, "Oh yes, ma'am, you want to teach me this?"
Yeah, I have that's the nerdy side of me. There's a nerdy side of me. Somebody told me the other day that it was Greg Sneed. You guys, last week, you just don't know who I am. Another friend of mine was saying, every week you just surprise me. Every time I speak to you, you just surprise me with the things that you know and the things that you do.
She's amazing, and I've known her for multiple years now, probably close to 10 years, and I still don't know half of what she does. She's like Spider-Man, you know. She just comes out and then surprises you. I'm going, oh my Lord.
It's so funny, Gilbert. I was with a client of mine. So here's the guide. I finally found the link to it. I was with a client of mine the other day, and she was asking what we were doing with recycled black dollars, and so I was telling her what we were doing. And there you guys go. The Greater Los Angeles Black Business Renaissance Guide. You can go over here, click to get involved, and then become a member. And if you have a group and you have a group of small businesses that operate under you, you can become an affiliate. And so when they upgrade to a paying advertisement, then you get a percentage of that. So again, we want to make sure that it's not just about us making money, but you can make money too. So you put your business information there, do a description, and submit. And now your business is going to be part of the guide. And so if you're in dining, your business will populate here. And then once we get, as more people are signing in, then it will be very interactive. But you can see the bakeries, the catering, the coffee shops, the restaurants, and it kind of goes along. Any business that's here is they're advertised. So again, RBD wants to make sure that there is no excuse to why you cannot find a Black business. All you need to do is register, and just to initially put your contact information in does not cost you a dime. If you want to add in an interactive ad, we have packages starting as low as $65 for the year. For you to have an interactive ad, and that basically means that we can click your link, we can hit the link on the app, and it will take you directly to your site, to your phone number, to whatever it is you choose to have it linked to. And we are available in both the Android, Apple Store and the Google Play Store. So that is pretty much how we are making our impact on the world, Gilbert.
I love what you provide here, co-host. And like I say, an hour and a half is just not enough to talk about the value that you bring not only to this show, but also to the community. So we're going to keep nurturing, and we're going to keep, soliciting some of our resources, skills, and expertise, folks. Every week we'll get a little bit more from her. I'll make it my point of duty to find that out for you and share it with you, so you guys know who Crystal Mitchell is.
One of our clients the other day, I was telling her something. Oh, I was telling her about the community briefing, and she goes, "Oh, and you still have the show on Friday?" I said, "I do." And she said, "You're important." I said, "I'm important to you because I'm your bookkeeper." She goes, "Oh yeah, that is very true." But and Gilbert is no slack. He is a badass too. So we're gonna interview him. He's got some skills that I don't have, and he he helps businesses out tremendously. Besides his Small Biz Pro, he has some other skill sets. So you bad too, dude. You earned your rights too. Your bragging rights as well.
I've earned my stripes, huh?
You earned your stripes. Well, guys, that was our show for Black History Month. I hope you realize where we are today and what we need to do. And it's not just Crystal and Gilbert. It's the entire Black community, the entire Black race. We need to come together as a people and really make a change. And if not for us, then for our children, for the children that are coming up, generations that's coming up behind us. We want to make sure that this is an amazing world. When I was growing up, I had no complaints about all of the opportunities that were available to me. I want our children behind us to feel that way. And a lot of them are not feeling that way.
Exactly.
A lot of them feel that there's just, they can't buy a property here in the state of California. It's too expensive. They can't have homes. They don't have the jobs that they want to do here. They don't even make enough money with rent and everything that they can find a mate, that they can get married and have a family.
Right.
And so that should never be the case, especially in a world that's as connected as we are. So we need to make a change, and we need to make sure we're encouraging our children to make a change so that this will be a better place. So that's pretty much why I do what I do, Gilbert.
Exactly. Well, folks, you've heard it here. You've heard it from my co-host herself, and you've heard the little bit that I had to contribute, which was not really necessary, but she had it all figured out, and I wanted you to hear from her, folks. So this is amazing. Now, in the chat, I just put the link for the Greater Los Angeles Black Business Resource Guide, folks, so you can check it out. It's an app, so you can download the app. You can go to the Google Play Store and download it on your phone. And you can register your business from there, so you get listed in that Black Business Resource Guide, so you too can have your products and services displayed and published and announced to the community, the nation, and the world, because this is global, folks. We're doing global now. We are doing global. So with that being said, folks, we've extended our time today to an hour and 45 minutes because we wanted to let you hear from our co-host here and what she had to offer, because she still have more to offer. So next month we're gonna do another episode of co-host Crystal Mitchell, which is next week. So next Friday, folks, we're gonna have her again. So I'm looking.
All right. So you guys follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, and make sure that you subscribe to our channel so that you can be notified of our shows. And we will see you next week. Thank you, Gilbert, for highlighting me today. I'm very appreciative and humble. And you guys stay tuned. Gilbert is doing some amazing things. I'm teaching around the city. Just go check out my website and some things, and you'll see what we're doing and where we are. And we're here for you. We're the super consultants of the city.
That's what I'm talking about. We're super consultants. So check us out, guys.
All righty. So Gilbert, you ready to take us out?
Oh yeah, we're out, folks. See you next Friday.
As a small biz pro, so we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.